All right, so I'm going to show you how to create a citation page, and then we're going to talk about internal citations. Unfortunately, one of the tools that I normally use is not working correctly tonight, so when we get to that point, I'm going to explain to you how it should work, and maybe by the time you try to do it tomorrow morning, they'll have it working, and if not, I can give you a workaround. So the way that I do citations is you start with your works cited page, which is a list of all the works that you're going to cite inside the paper. So I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to type in easybib.com. That's my preferred tool. And I'll show you why in just a second. I'm going to sign in using EasyBib. You'll have to do the sign up, which is a little different. And actually, I was already signed in, so I'll show you what it looks like. I'll log out and sign back in. You'll have to do the sign up to use the free version. And it comes sometimes you have to watch little videos between that. But I would advise you, if you have the money, to go ahead and maybe get it, especially your senior year, you're going to need it. And I use it in college all the time, but that's entirely up to you. So I'm going to sign in, click sign in, and it's going to sign into my personal account, which is my other Google account. If you're going to create a sign up, I would highly suggest you use Google and use your CCS Jackets account and password. That way you'll remember it your senior year when you have to use this for dual enrollment. So you can see I've got several projects here where I've already been trying this out to check for technical difficulties. I've recorded this video about 6 different times trying to get it to work. Like I said, there was an issue. But the first thing that you're going to do here is you're going to click Create Project. You're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this Julius Caesar essay. It doesn't matter what you call it. This is kind of like a folder that you're going to keep your citations in, but you do want to make sure you select MLA8. I think in the free version of EasyBib, all you've got is MLA7 and MLA8. So you want to make sure you choose MLA8. There are lots of different style guides that you can use. You're going to see Chicago Turabian and APA when you get to college, or if you're a science major, you'll see CSE, which is a different type of citation style guide. But for English, we use MLA8, and I'm going to click Create. You can see a list of all of my different bibliographies and works cited pages that I've had to use, excuse me, this school year. And this is the reason I really like EasyBib. There are other citation generators that you can use. I'm going to show you a different one in just a minute, but this one keeps everything grouped together really nice and organized for you. So once it's created my project, I'm going to click it, and it's empty. There are no citations here. So I'm going to create a new citation. Everybody should have a citation for the No Fear book. So I'm going to click book, and then I'm just going to type in No Fear Julius Caesar. This doesn't even have to be capitalized. It's kind of like Google search. It's doing a search for anybody that has ever cited No Fear Julius Caesar. And it's telling me it can't find it, which is not true because I've already done this several times. So here, let me do it again. And there is a whole list. Now, there are several places in here that this is mentioned. Julius Caesar, No Fear, a Companion, Julius Caesar, edited by John Crowther. And so your question will be, which one of these is correct? And the question is, I don't know. These are all citations that different people have done. So it's kind of like looking at somebody else's homework. If you want to use it, you need to check it and verify that it's correct. So I'm just going to pick the top one. I'm going to click the Cite button. That's going to carry me over here, say this is the information that it found. And I'm going to click Continue to go to the editing page, which is where all of the information is that comes up in my citation. So starting at the top, I'm going to verify everything. Was it in print? Yes, my book is in print. So I'm definitely going to use that. Am I citing the whole book? Yes. Here it has 2 different authors. Shakespeare, obviously, who wrote the Shakespearean version, the original text, and then John Crowther is the man that wrote the modern translation. I'm not using the modern translation, so I am going to delete that. Okay. The source title is actually, looking at the front of the book, No Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. There's no volume or edition number. Sparksnote is the publisher. My book was published in 2003. You may have a newer edition that was published in 2007, and you probably will want to check that out on the inside cover of the book. So it's on the title page. On the inside cover of the book, it'll tell you the year that it was published and the publishing information if you don't know where that is. All right, when I get finished with all that, I'm going to click Complete Citation. It's going to tell me it's generating my citation, and there it is. It shows up right there. Now, this is where the glitch comes in. Normally, one of the things that I like about EasyBib is that I can click Export and tell it to export to Google Docs. Click Export again, and it will automatically pop up a Google Docs page with my works cited page already there. However, for some reason tonight, this is not working. So what I have done is I have exported it to a Word document and then cut and paste it into a Google document because I have Word on my computer. I hope for you guys that this will work tomorrow morning. If it doesn't, we may have to do something a little different. But I'm going to go ahead and close this window for now. And I'm going to come over here and we're going to pretend that it opened this window for us. Voila, EasyBib did this. And here's my works cited page. And it's already formatted correctly, which is pretty amazing. So in MLA format, everything has to be double spaced. So I'm going to check the spacing, which is here. And it is set, should be set to double space. Looks like it was not actually, which is kind of strange. So we want to make sure that everything is double spaced, not 1.15. And then these lines in a works cited page have a hanging indent, which means instead of indenting 5 spaces over on the first line is flush and every other line under it is indented 5 spaces over. So I'm going to drag this over to here and then drag that back to 0 to set my margins up correctly. It doesn't really matter with this one because it doesn't have any overhang, but we're going to add one to it in just a minute if you're doing a speech, and so I wanted to go ahead and set it up. All right, now if you're going to cite Robert F. Kennedy's speech or one of the other speeches, normally I would tell you to come back to EasyBib, click Create a New Citation, and then over here under the More button, select Speeches. But I found today that it does not have a speech option. So we're going to look at another citation creator, which is called Citation Machine. And so all I did was I went to Google and I clicked Citing a Speech in MLA. And I'm going to skip the Purdue Lab for just a minute. I'm going to come down here where it says Citation Machine. And this is another way to create citations. I'm going to click it. And it's going to come up. And it's going to ask me to fill in some information. Okay. Presentation, title, series, forum, lecture, speech, author, the event title, city, location, all of this information, which I can come over here to the speech for Robert F. Kennedy, and this is the link that I gave you on the resources, and I can basically just cut and paste this. So this is the title of the speech. I'm going to go back to Citation Machine. We're going to put it in here. All right. We're going to ignore my yoga teacher's text messages that are coming in. The series and forum, there wasn't one. We're going to click speech. The author is Robert F. Kennedy. Make sure you spell it and capitalize it correctly. The event title, where was he when he gave the speech? He was in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm going to cut and paste that. Copy. Here. The location, I'm not sure if this is on here or not. Let's see. April 4th, 1968. He was actually at a campaign rally, but since we don't have that information here, I'm not going to bother putting it in citation machine. I'll leave that there since it just says city. And today's date is the date it was viewed. So today is gosh, I don't even know what today is, guys, because it's been such a crazy week. It's the 19th of March, November, in 2020. Um, I could probably find the information for this if I went to Wikipedia and dug around with it, but it's really not essential, I don't think, to the information here. But I will say that up at the top, I have a from a website button, which is going to change this screen just a little bit. It's going to now ask for the website title, the publisher, and the URL. So I can get all of those things from here. The website is the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum. So I can type that here. John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum. And the publisher or sponsor is the same. And then the URL I can cut and paste from the top up here. And I probably don't know what day it was electronically published. You can always look on here and see if you can find it. But it doesn't look like it's available, and that's okay. So I have all that information in Citation Machine, as much as I can put in there. Things I don't have, I left blank. So I'm going to click Create Citation. And here is my citation. I'm going to click Copy. And then I'm going to come back to the works cited page that I created, and I'm going to put it in here. I'm just going to cut and paste it. Now, a couple of things. You'll notice that this is a very long URL, and so it kind of cut it off there. If that really bugs you, you can stick your cursor in there and hold down Shift and Enter, and it will disconnect the URL and reformat it. And this does not have to be blue. If that bothers you, you can undo that. You can take the link out. That's perfectly okay. Let's see if I can do it. I can't really see it because of my window at the bottom. Let me get rid of that. Take the window, take the link out. There you go. Oh, no, there it is, right there. That's what I was looking for. So this is a works cited page, and it's what you're going to have to add to the end of your essay if you have both of these. If you only have the Shakespeare, then that's all you need. And if you have a different speech, you'll have to add that speech in there. But that's what you're looking for, and that's what a works cited page looks like. Now, what do I do with the works cited page? I put it at the end of my paper, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a minute in a different screencastify where I talk about how to use MLA format. So that's generate your works cited page first, and then we'll come back and talk about internal citations.